Tim Panasic for Gibbons Motor Toys. Today we're going to talk about items that one should be considering carrying any time that you're off the grid. So if you're in the backcountry, side-by-side, ATV, some of this is going to relate to snowmobiling and boating as well, but the main focus on this will be for off-roading. Now, hey, lots of you people are going to have all kinds of ideas and probably better ideas than I have here, but this is just to get everybody thinking about some of the stuff that we should be considering, not leaving camp without, because you just never know when something goes wrong. And I guess I always like to think that if I have extra stuff that I don't need, that's great, because if I don't need to use it, I'm having a great day. So that being said, we'll just kind of go through this stuff real quickly so that we don't bore anybody. Basically, you know, as you can see, I got a bunch of stuff laid out here, and I'll just start and just kind of work my way around. So I just usually typically carry just some common tools. I got some side cutters here. I got a large and a small crescent wrench. I got a small pair of vice grips. I got a full set of screwdrivers that do roll up fairly small, but you know, this assortment of bits with this multi-screwdriver probably will suffice just well, is very good as well. I got a couple different size of channel locks here. I got a couple of knives. The one thing here that I've got is a safety seal kit. So if a guy does puncture a tire, I've got the lube, I've got the safety seals, I've got the tool to ream it, and I've got the tool to install it. I've got a couple of sets of socket sets that I'll carry, a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch. The one kit that I highly recommend, and this pertains to pretty much all of BRP products in particular, is this kit right here. It's compact, and this thing absolutely carries most of the tools that you'll need for BRP's products. So whether it's side-by-side, ATV, snowmobile, etc., most of your bits, most of your wrenches, everything is contained in this kit. So that's something that I would highly recommend. You know, flashlights, I've got a couple different flashlights there. First aid kit, I've got another knife there, spare gloves. Spot trace. I don't go out in the bush, or even if I'm on remote highways where I don't have cell phone coverage, I've now got some type of a tracker that I use. So again, in the event of an emergency, you're going to have service where you can text and get help if you need it. Duct tape. I don't go anywhere without duct tape. Electrical tape. I just got a USB cord here. Most of these machines have plug-ins to charge your devices now. Fire extinguisher, I think, is a must. Generic rope. The toilet paper in a Ziploc bag is pretty straightforward. An axe or a hatchet of some type. A chainsaw is great, but this Swede saw here, I've probably had it for almost 40 years now, and it still works awesome. I typically carry a propane torch. I've got another lighter here. Having also waterproof matches is a good idea. I've got zip ties here, various lengths. As far as, I use these for my wiener sticks. They're compact, they work awesome, don't take up any space. Tire sealant, again, never had to use it, but I carry it all the time. A hammer, tow rope, extra rope for here, bungee cords you can add to that list. The other thing that I make sure I always got is spare electrical fittings, connectors, along with a tool to use them. I've got a bag here of various bolts, 1/4 inch, 3/8, 5/16, more fuses, etc. And last but not least is, a spare belt and the tool. So, a lot of customers, I know they buy a new machine and they figure, geez, I have to add more money to carry this spare belt. Do I really need it on a new machine? Well, the answer is that the odds of having to change that belt out in the bush is pretty slim. However, it's like everything else we just talked about. If you have it, the odds of needing it is probably slim and nil. My argument for why a person should consider buying it right off the hop is that you're buying it with today's money, and you're probably going to need it sometime. That might not be till 5 years down the road, but when the machine is in for service and you get to the point where it is time for a belt change, we can simply just put the new belt on, now use your used belt as the spare, and in the meantime, you've been out in the bush with this insurance that you haven't had to use. That being said, that kind of covers it in a nutshell. We're going to be doing a trip later this year where we're going to be spending probably 6 or 7 nights out on a boat on the West Coast. We might follow up with a video on what we're going to, use to cover a trip like that where you're spending several nights out on the water. Hopefully this video's helped give you some ideas on stuff you should carry when you're off-road. And as always, please subscribe to our channel if you want to see more videos like this.